now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities, and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Hey, I have to say, welcome all. You're listening to Vigilantes Radio Live, the platform that has innovators like you with very insightful conversations and stories that just may spark the next innovator to get started. So that's why we do this, and we just want to welcome you to the show. This particular episode is pre-recorded, and I can't wait to deliver it to your inboxes. And for you guys who subscribe to the show, you'll be the first to know when this episode drops. Before we bring our guest on, I do want to say that you have to delight in the journey. Those who delight in the journey will also get the most enjoyment after reaching the destination. And those who whine and complain all the way there continue to be miserable even when they arrive, if they ever make it that far. If you find joy and fulfillment in the process of achievement, the rewards will be most fulfilling too. For the real value of the reward is in the effort, the commitment, the substance of life that goes into reaching it. Certainly it takes a great deal of effort, focus, and discipline to achieve an ambitious goal. But who says those things must be unpleasant? Actually, whether something is unpleasant or not is usually just a matter of opinion. And you are free to change your opinion at any time. Imagine what would happen if you could truly and sincerely enjoy those activities that are necessary for reaching the success that you desire. Consider how much more interested, how more enthusiastic, skilled, committed, and persistent you would be. So take delight in the journey. Enjoy what you are doing while you're doing it, whatever it may be, and you'll truly arrive in style and in grace wherever you wish to go. My name is Coach Dini, and change is possible. Are you ready? Welcome again. It is a pleasure to host this show. Today's episode, we are in the technology space. The things that run the infrastructure of businesses, the things that a lot of you don't know happens behind the scene with Fortune 500 companies and the way they operate. So we'll dive into SAP and a lot more in just a second. Our interviews are designed to go beyond the music, news, books, art, acting, films, technology, education, entrepreneurship, entertainment, and sometimes even past that thing that we call the ego. Our interviews are designed to go behind the scenes and into the minds of these incredible human beings. The ones who are out there giving it their all for me, for you, and for the world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to welcome a true innovator in the field of SAP architecture and cloud solutions, Harikrishna Madathala. With over 20 years of experience, has mastered the art of migrating SAP systems to the cloud, ensuring high availability and disaster recovery. From designing Azure Landing Zones to implementing cutting-edge monitoring tools like AMS 2.0, Harikrishna is shaping the future of enterprise cloud solutions. So please join me in saying welcome, friend, to the brilliant Harikrishna. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hey, hi. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Well, first things first, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yeah, Harikrishna Madathala. You can call me as Hari, and
Right.
that will be comfortable for you, I think so.
All right, Ari. Well, again, welcome to the show. So, what's been on your heart and mind lately as you navigate the ever evolving world of cloud architecture?
Yeah, so before getting into the picture, let me introduce myself, right? About so where I have been, like, so for how much I traveled so far from my journey as an expertise. So, one more thing, like, hello, thank you for inviting me on the podcast today. Thank you. I am Harikrishna Madathala, and it's a pleasure to be here. So, I have been over 20 years in the IT industry, where I have privileged to work across various domain spanning IT, education, technology, and science. Usually, my career has been a blend on a hands-on technical experience, and also I have done leadership in driving complex transitions, especially in the areas of SAP implementation and cloud migrations. So I've also worked with amazing organizations, including AHE, starting off my career, and also with Emphasis, then moved on to IBM. Then currently I'm working for Microsoft. So during my journey through all these companies for the past 20 years, I've gained expertise in transforming the IT environments with a specific focus on cloud technologies like Microsoft Azure and also AWS. So, as per that, so I'm going to share something about my journey, right? The projects I worked on, skills and organizations and challenges I faced so far, to overcome all these things, what I've learned so far. I can share all those things. It's about me, and if you want, I can continue with my background and journey.
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning because in when I began my career, like over like 20 years before, right ago, in the early stages, I was always immersed in learning and honing my technical skills. I started out in SAP space working as a SAP Basis consultant. Before that, I also used to work with my friends for networking and designing the networking. And we all started a small company type of thing where I did some networking, internet connections, all these route based things. I used to work on all those things. I was working as a network administrator over there for a couple of like freely. That made me to come across one person who is working in SAP. He was talking about SAP is also similar to what I'm doing in network administration. I come to know about that SAP and I learned myself, and then I got a big breakthrough in ASG company. From there, my career started. Like I grew my expertise in the area of ERP, database, application architecture, and cloud. So it's a turning point. You can say that in my career, transitioned into working with cloud technologies like SAP, Microsoft, Azure, AWS, which opened up new horizon for me. So that was one of the key motivation for me to pursue this path was the opportunity to help organizations move from traditional on-premise to more agile and scalable cloud environments. So this shift has been a game changer for many business, and being as part of the transformation has been incredibly fulfilling for me. That's about my journey and background.
All right. So, how did you even learn about SAP? How was you introduced to this concept?
So if you talk about SAP, how I came, right? I mean, that's what initially I was in networking. So that is also similar to administration, where SAP is also similar to administration. There are different kinds of job functionalities are there in SAP. It can be functional, you can be a developer, or you can be like a managing, or you can be like a administrator. So I choose the path of administrator where I was a network admin. I have knowledge in network admin, so similar to that. This is also I'll go there and install SAP system and customize them for the customers based on their needs. So that's where I come to know about SAP and learned SAP, and then I joined the organization where I expertise my skills in it.
Awesome. What's the most exciting technological innovation you've encountered recently?
Technological innovation means like suppose if I talk about like SAP, SAP is a large space where you can have lot of functional modules. You can choose one of them. So in that like one of the challenges, one of the thing I chose was like higher availability and disaster recovery, where I want the customers, mission critical customers, they want always system to be up and running in order to maintain their transactions or whatever that this downtime. So to reduce the downtime, minimize the downtime. So my job as a designing the architecture designer, architecture review, what I did was I was working mainly focusing on not only designing the architecture, but on high availability and disaster recovery, where I have used the tools to optimize the downtime. And in case if some disaster happens to the primary region, I need to ensure to the customers, ensure to the users that system is still available for them to operate. So within quick seconds, and they should, even the users will not able to, find there is an issue in the system, because in such a way I designed them, where I use the tools like Sayos Lifekeeper, what is very good tool. It was like amazing, like clustering tool where we can install quickly within an hour. That's the benefit of that Sayas tool. Whereas we also have some free tool like Pacemaker cluster. So we use this Pacemaker cluster as part of like SUSE cluster, SUSE Linux, or like Red Hat Linux, which was provided by the vendor itself. And then we also have like Sayas Lifekeeper is a like third-party vendor where we buy the tool and then integrate and then configure, set up everything on the SAP system. It's running on OS, different OS, maybe Red Hat or Slash. We will implement on those systems, and then I will create in such a way that if something happens to the primary region, this SAP system, if it goes down, it should be active on another system where I did the high setup, like designing setup, high availability. So that's where my focus was. So that was my great achievement where I made a Sayas tool. I have also prepared a guide and also give a lot of presentation for Sayas Symposium also, how it works on Azure and how to make sure that Azure SLA also matches with customer SLA. So customer comes up, I don't want any SLAs. My SLA should be like within 15 minutes or I don't want any SLA for high availability within the primary region. Based on the SLA, I would design them and then I will use a specific tool which will be highly beneficial for the customer. So that's how I designed them. I made an achievement like creating that whole document, and I also posted those documents in the publication, in the press, as well as a SAP marketplace. So where the documentation is available for everyone to pursue. So this contribution helps not only for me as a experience level or expert skill level, but also it will be helpful for the customers who want to come to SAP and utilize these tools, but they need knowledge, right? So to come out of that knowledge, they can just use my guide and follow it, and then they can implement that solution in their landscape. So that is one of the major achievements. And also one more thing I've done in my challenging thing is that when I was working for IBM in front of the customer, I created landing in the design architecture in such a way that my SAP application runs on Windows, and then my SAP application like ASCS, and there is a NQ service and replication service. Those two services will run on Red Hat. So usually the architect will design in such a way that SAP ASCS like process CS and ERS in a separate virtual machines, and then they will have separate virtual machine for HANA database too. But I designed to save the cost for the customers in such a way that ASCS and database of primary HANA database runs on the one machine, virtual machine, and then secondary HANA database runs on second virtual machine. So that design has saved a lot of cost to the customer. By using Pacemaker cluster, I have automated that whole HA failover from primary to secondary with the help of that tool, Pacemaker tool, which was configured by me. with the help of IT team. So that was one of the challenging things, which I was able to overcome that. And those two challenges helped me a lot. And also I wrote a blog about that and also published in an article.
Where can people find your blog?
What is that? Can you?
Where can our listeners find your blog?
Well, yeah, I've already, if you search my name in Google, Harikrishna Madathala, and then it will show the article I publish. And also you can go to my ResearchGate profile where you can find my publications there. And I have written more than 8 to 10 publications. Some are there in AI integrated with SAP, some are AI like efficiency, and some are with SAP, how to do the failover HS setup, how to install. So I will lot of. And also if you search with my name, you can also see my interviews. Speaking about my work were done. Those are available in Google, and there is an article also available in press. You can view if you just search my name. Or I can send you, it's there in my resume, also I can send you separately.
All right, yes, that would work. Also, what do you consider the most important key skills for success in SAP?
Key sessions?
Key skills.
Okay. So key skills for SAP is like, we have a different type of VMs in Azure. So we can utilize based on the customer needs, right? Suppose a key consideration for SAP to run on Azure is something like where we need to choose the database that will be utilized and how it is going to be set up in such a way that different type of keys and authorization, the scale of the system, like it can be like we need to run some quick size report to scale the size of the system, SAP system, and then based on that sizing tool, we will allocate the SAP system and then database size, what size it has to be, how the file system has to be, and the key parts to bring SAP into Azure. The measures I have to take is like sizing, memory sizing, storage, compute, networking. So these all things have to be designed in such a way that the IP address should be unique for these systems. And then I have to segregate a database like a development separately in a subsystem and then production system in another subsystem. So all these together I have to, club together and then bring in to provide the customer with the design. Those are the key skills.
How have you developed your skills over your career?
I'm always enthusiastic to learn more and more new features. So what I do is that whenever I have time, or even after I'm done with my work at my workplace, I used to spend at least 1 hour on a daily basis to learn new things. Where I'll go there and then I'll go to docs.microsoft.com websites, and then I'll go to the blog websites where we have a lot of new features which are released. I'll go through them, how is beneficial to my skill. And then I'll also go to this Microsoft Azure website. Every day they release like a monthly price, or 4 times they release that new newsletter where you can have all the updates, features. And I'll go one by one feature, I'll learn them and then try to implement them in my lab. I have access to my lab in Microsoft Azure, so I'll build a system and try to implement that feature and see what are the benefits we get. And is it available from Azure side, as well as that feature is available in SAP side, and it's generally available or not. Those checks I used to do. And then once I learn that skill, I'll implement for the customer. That's how I learn my skills in SAP.
Awesome. How did your early career in SAP Basis administration shape your current approach to cloud solutions?
So when I started my career, right, SAP version which I worked was very old version, like SAP 4.7 Enterprise Edition they say. So it was in the year like 20 years back, 2004 I am talking about, 2002 or 3, okay. So when I started my career, it was like version 4.7, 6 was also there, 6 the 4.7 Enterprise Edition. It evolved like every 2 years or 3 years. I used to improvise my knowledge, learn new skills, because SAP is not like they don't stay on the same versions. Based on the customer needs, they release new features and new versions and upgrade them to the newer version, latest with the tools, everything to be part of the SAP. So what I did was, initially we had that version of system where we used to do manual lot of stuff. Then we upgraded our system to latest version released by SAP, like 4.7 Enterprise Edition. From there, we upgraded entirely to SAP Business Suite, which was the latest version. That time it was released in 2009, 10, and then suddenly they changed the versions for ECC separately, ERP. They came up with SAP ECC 6.0, and then that had like different enhancement packages, 1, 2, 3, up to 7 or 8. And after 8, that version stayed for around 5 to 6 years or 10 years at the max. Some customers can estimate. So I upgraded my skill over there. And then different tools came into the picture like BobJ, Bots, and the Solution Manager, which was there early, like 10 years back. So I used to upgrade my skills. And then slowly when they are coming, like in the year 2010, that is the time where I was into the cloud technologies, where AWS was pioneering in that cloud technologies. At the time, the company where I'm working for, they were migrating from our on-premise cloud infrastructure to Azure cloud or AWS cloud they were doing. So fortunately, I was part of that migration, because I am the on-site coordination, only one person here to entirely drive the entire SAP delivering to the customer. So my part, as all the systems are running on on-premise, in case if they have to move to cloud, then I need to give them all the details, all the requirements, what we have in the system. I know how it behaves, what are the things like how the job runs, what time they run. So a lot of things are there, which I know them. So I used to help them to the cloud persons who were there from AWS. They came to, implement the solution for the AAG, one of the company. So at the time, so I was there. So I got a chance to learn how they migrate the on-premise system to cloud. And that is how I learned about cloud technologies. Before that also, I have an idea about cloud, but not like AWS or Azure Cloud. And I had also worked on like hypervisors, like with IBM, where I was in IBM, where they initially moved from Solaris to IBM DB2 390 machines. So that is also similar, where all the systems hosted on Solaris, they moved to OS 390 cloud, maintained by IBM. So I was part of that entire process because I was working for IBM. I got an opportunity to work there. I learned about all this clustering, HA, DR, more deep dive into them. So that's how I came to cloud technology. And slowly, after learning something meaningful about cloud technology, then I went to other project. In that project, I am the only resource where I would completely migrate entire BW system from the other data center to the IBM data center. That is where my skills got increased from 50 to almost 90%. So from there, the journey of moving the entire system from on-premise to cloud, I learned it, and what are the tools required to check the hardware, like using HWCCT tool at the time. So I used all the tests also. I've done the tools, how it works to make sure that hardware is able to handle the bandwidth, everything. Then I got an opportunity to work for Azure. At Microsoft, I got an opportunity. My skill set have been moved from 100% from SAP to 200% with cloud. Now I got 100% SAP, 100% cloud. So both together,
like Lord Artillery, crush time, we crushing, no doubt. Cowards we never be. When they land, we plan to bring Rottweiler pedigree. Who the fuck is that? Stepping out with his gat, followed by a couple others with Ku Klux Klan hats. Fuck that, universal soldier style with Max. Side by side, made them fall like Babylon. In fact, all shit, caught a slug in his shoulder, but fuck, we gotta go. Last seconds on the clock, shit, strapped up in the cockpit. Rolled up a blunt, cause I'm on probation in this world. Smoke one to the time, travel shit, rain shit, click thorough.
Everything like now, Microsoft has a Copilot, and then we have seen a lot of AI has been integrated in SAP. So how AI will be impacting future, how it benefits to our store like SAP systems or for companies. We have to little bit I'll give outline. I don't want to go deeper because it's a big topic here. So, so artificial intelligence, we all know that, like it has all the data being collected and whatever the question we ask, it already has filled with data with some algorithm. So it can bring up the solution quickly, which usually the people they would have taken like more than 10 days to learn about it, right? To solve an issue. So with AI integrated, with all the data has been fed in the back end, and now the same data can be utilized which was already discovered. So it's not going to discover new data. AI already discovered by the technology professionals who have done for the past 30 years or 20 years has been fed now. So everything, whatever we did in through our mind has been now fed with the artificial intelligence. How it helps now? Suppose if we take about SAP system, so what we are doing, like we used to, when I started my career, I used to manually monitor how the system behaves, any dumps are there in the system, any errors are there in the system, or system is up and running, it's going down, all those things, until like some tools were there where we can integrate that tool. It will send automatic alert, but still we will go there and then manually logging, a lot of things are there. So to automate, I mean, all this data has been fed to the in the back end, right? So now using artificial intelligence, if we integrate that artificial intelligence to SAP, where that when we tell like artificial intelligence, right, we will create a script in the back end using Python or using other tools where it can pull all the. Suppose if we take Azure, right, we have like AMS, Azure Monitoring Solution, a tool for automatically find the alert. If there is any error in the system, it will alert us. So what I did, we integrated that AMS monitoring Copilot tool with SAP. So that this Copilot in the back end will go on, user is created to talk to the SAP to collect the data, and the data is already there in the AMS in the Azure monitoring solution with logical analytics tool, where it will pull the data from there and it will automatically search if this error has been solved earlier. If it is solved, then same solution can be applied again. If it is not solved, then it will go through the SAP website and SAP marketplace, where it will search for the error and provide a solution. So still it's in pilot phase, because a lot of integration is required, because SAP should be self-intelligent to manage those, solving the error, solving the issue. It can pull up the data, and for this issue, this might be a solution. It can pull up the decision, but we have not done that much them to be self-intelligent by the tool, but we are doing ourselves, like go manually provide that solution. If it is matching this solution, we'll apply that. So that's where that artificial intelligence will help us in future also. Monitoring will be quicker, and then solutions can be provided quickly, and bad jobs, like we know the frequency, right? How much time does it take to run? Artificial intelligence, if we integrate that, it will quickly find those timelines, and then it will provide us to improve a lot of, I mean, how can we improve the bad jobs to be done quickly? So all this efficiency will come in future. I mean, integrate. Now it's not 100% integrate everything, but still going on in like pilot phase.
Indeed. I know you mentioned a bit about challenges in this space. What about security though? How do you ensure security and compliance when migrating sensitive SAP data to the cloud?
Okay, so first thing, security means like when we design architecture design, right? So we will make sure that the customer on-premise data center is directly connected to our Azure data center using edge routers. And then from there, we also have encryption available for encryption when the transfer of data between customer data center to Azure data center. So once the data inside the Azure data center, then we have like standard tools like complying tools like GDPR, HIPAA, and other will come into the picture, like security and compliance will come into the picture. And we will implement some security protocols and policies to protect sensitive data and maintain compliance across multiple regions, so that when customer will be content, no lapses happens from our side. So that is the approach. And also once it inside the Azure, we will set the firewall also is there, where we will have like hub and spoke model. In the hub is the hub management is a separate entire VNet, where we make sure that a firewall or managing the system, everything is placed in that hub. And then in the spoke VNet, the actual SAP systems like database systems and then the production database development quality system has been placed in subnets. And these communication between these systems, database and application servers via the energies, the network security policies which will apply, that the energies will be available between security between these application and database cloud systems. And any external connection coming into talking to SAP or Azure, it has to come via Azure gateway and then firewall, and then it has to pass from firewall. It will allow, or it will sometimes it may disconnect that connection based on the IP address whatever you feed in their firewall. It will come to the backend database. So everything is protected here. Nothing like there are no lapses for the customer, because once they enter into their tenant, it's all their own its own playground for them, because all security measures they have to take by themselves. If the customer wants us to help them, we will be helping them by creating energies, firewall, and then backup for the firewall. Also, we will have two firewalls enabling them, and for any outbound connection also they have to go through Azure gateway. So that's how like we will help them for the customer to be able to have a stable security compliance system.
Indeed. What emerging trends do you foresee in SAP on Azure architecture over the next 5 years?
Oh, that's a great question. Very great question. Like next 5 years, I am hoping like SAP. It's still SAP. Like I mean, it has been a lot of like phases in its early. Like it came from every year, every 5 years, we used to think that okay, SAP this is that going to be end. But when we started with 4.7, then it came with a new tool. But still, customers were able to adapt to that new upgraded SAP systems. And from this, we went to the suite, SAP Business Suite. And from there, again, we introduced like HANA database, SAP has introduced. People were able to adapt it, and then because it was very much, faster compared to older version. And then next 5 years also, when artificial intelligence also it's now collaborated to this, and we will find like it may be like still benefits the customer, right? It's not something it's that SAP tool will be they will downsize the SAP tool, or it will be whatever gone. It won't happen in future, because technology always evolves, but the futures might increase. It will keep on increasing. The timeline earlier what they used to have in the SAP systems, like collecting the data, all those interfaces will change. They can do everything from their mobile itself. They can operate in future. Maybe all the SAP applications will be running on SAP website itself, and they don't. They don't. No user, no customer need to be maintain their SAP system in their landscape by paying cost to the infrastructure or having people who train them to have SAP knowledge. Everything will be taken care by SAP in future. Maybe they will make sure that it is as a they'll have a separate separate organization, separate unique for all these customers will be hold by SAP itself, and they will they will do all the work. But we as a customer, he doesn't need to do anything. You just pass the message to them, and all the in and then the operation related to IT, SAP installation or maintenance, everything will be taken care by SAP in future. That's what my projection with the AI integrated tool will be super fast in future, and the transactions which are taking now like 1 day or 1 hour, those all will be done in seconds because of the infrastructure we have now. It's like progressive, like stages, but now with AI in future it may be like they will name it as different tool now in future. SAP with AI or SAP AI tool, something like that.
Indeed. And in conclusion, what's a key lesson you've learned in managing large technical teams across onshore and offshore environments?
Yeah, that's a great question. There are a lot of challenges I face. Like offshore and onshore team. So offshore team is like they even I also worked in offshore also. They don't know the impact, like what customer is having impact about the customer deliverables, right? So even when I was in offshore, I used to work based on my shift, and then I learn and then troubleshoot, and then I report them and go. That is my work earlier. But when I came to on-site in front of customer, whatever they're asking, like they'll be looking for the solution then and there, and they want the system to be always reliable, and it should never be resilient, and it should never go down. One of issues I face, like where system used to go down because of NFS issues, then customer will come in, will stand in front of me, what has happened, they will ask. And I'm the only person at onsite. I used to log into the system, I'll find the issue and root cause, and then I'll start the entire call with the IT team. I'll open the bridge. So a lot of challenges I faced in my career. Like sometimes one of the issue where I faced was that um, we took AMS support for one of the project where initially I was the on-site coordinator there, where I used to face a lot of issues like saying the system is went down, system is not up and running during the maintenance window. So every week we used to face some solution because suddenly that the security team, the IT team will come and say that we are going to apply patches for the VMs, and still the VMs will go down in the weekends. And I need to ensure that my team is available during that time to make the system down and bring up the system after the patches are applied. It was like cumbersome effort, like where we used all the team members used to complain that why we have to do every day, every week like this. So then I came up with a plan, like a play-relay plan, like regular meetings with the IT team and with all parties involved utilizing the system, SAP system, right? So I created a meeting, and that meeting will discuss like I made sure that non-prod systems are done like on a bi-weekly basis, and prod systems will go for cutover like all for any patches, security patches on a quarterly basis. That was the plan I gave them, and everyone agreed. And we used to perform the patching window in the weekdays, like Wednesday, every Wednesday around 10 o'clock, 10 to 12 p.m. So in the midnight, where there no users will be there for non-prod, and for production, we quarterly on Sundays in the early mornings, like 3-hour window. So 3 to 4 hour window based on the requirement. Okay, that is what I made a process change, and everyone agreed it. From there on, we had zero escalation, and the customer also has appreciated me, and we gave, like I got an award from my IBM also. So conclusion, I say that that was my challenge which I faced from on-site to offshore, and collaborating between on-site and offshore, and keeping regular meetings, and knowing the requirements of offshore. That's a great challenge because I had two teams, one in Arabian as well as one in Philippines. So managing two teams, it was a great opportunity, and I could say that it was challenging. And then I should specifically say that I learned a lot of things from that. That was so. As I wrap up here, I want to highlight that the importance of continuous learning and staying curious. That is the most important thing. The IT and cloud space is constantly evolving, and it is essentially to stay ahead of the curve by adopting new tools, technologies, and methodologies. So throughout my career, I have learned the best solution come from combination of deep technical expertise or effective collaboration, and always a keen understanding of business goals. Based on that, I used to improve my knowledge. So if there is one thing I've learned is that every project, no matter how challenging, brings an opportunity to grow. So it's challenges that drive innovation and enable us to push the boundaries of what is possible, right? So I'm excited about the future of SAP and cloud technology, how it is going to evolve, looking forward, and to continually make an impact in the industry, right? So that's my goal as a conclusion. I think it's a great opportunity for me to be part of this podcast. Thank you for listening so calmly and composingly. You have been a great host here.
Oh, it's no problem at all, and it was my pleasure hearing you speak. And you are a true innovator and expert in this field, and I just thank you so much for lending us your time and your expertise and discussing the SAP and cloud solutions. Oh, guys, what an enlightening conversation with Harikrishna, from discussing the intricacies of cloud migration to sharing insights on the future of SAP architecture. Harikrishna's expertise is truly inspiring. If you are a young person that's getting into that networking field, that can go either direction, because we know that cloud-based security, IT networks is where the job industry is moving into. So if that's your interest and this is your type of stuff, please share this episode with a student or someone who's just interested in cloud services, migration, SAP, and all the things pertaining to networks, this is the episode for them. Harikrishna is definitely an expert in this field, so we truly thank him for shedding light on the innovative work driving digital transformation today. And to our listeners, be sure to connect with Harikrishna. We'll try to include those links he mentioned earlier so you can view his blog and the papers he's written on this subject. And we'll include those links in this episode. So stay tuned.
Thank you for listening to my journey today.
Indeed.
And it's my CV. It's there with you. It has that email ID, everything, and you can share all the whatever the speaking, whatever I've done. It's already there.
All right. I'll do that. All right. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Indeed.
Peace to all. My name is Deanie, and I am the host of Vigilantes Radio Live. I think that we are beyond just asking cool questions and getting cool responses. I think that we are here as creatives to provide an example that you can do things different outside of expectations, because some of us simply were not born into the club, but there is perhaps a door, window, or back gate that we can leave a clue for you to get into. Life is short, but there are plenty of moments to try and get it right. Pursuing your dreams and learning from mistakes may be tough, but regret is tougher. To book your interview, email us at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. That's a V as in victorious. Or visit onlyonemediagroup.com. I'm counting on you. Heaven, we all are counting on you to step into your purpose and your passion. You are listening to Vigilantes Radio Live on iHeartRadio, providing you with an opportunity to dive deeper.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com.